Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's daily brief recap. Woohoo! Party! Woohoo! Well, I think we got a little bit of sort of, I get the feeling maybe a little bit of a hangover day. Little bit of a holy Jesus, what the hell happened yesterday? And the dust is sort of settling. That's sort of the general feeling I get here right now. Obviously, as we work through this historical event, right? Probably all of you should try and remember this for the rest of your lives. Write journal about all your feelings and observations and the way these silly humans are acting here, because this isn't normal. And I definitely think the market itself, as a function of human emotional behavior, is quite skittish. Probably not the best time to go invest for your retirement plans and RSPs and stuff like that. Maybe just let all of this crap get by, and maybe let's start going and looking for weekly W's again. That might be a good idea. If you do have stuff on, obviously you're just working your orders and your levels, and if the market moves into a level, take profits. Be sure to pay yourself. I'm actually surprised some of these little cryptocurrencies, and some stocks also too, are just going like ape shit right now. So take advantage of it. They always say make hay while the sun's shining. So I'm a little leery about chasing high flyers and markets that have already moved up. And ironically enough, I'm actually starting to get a lot of little anecdotal pieces of information that the sectors of the market that have been really beaten down are starting to get bid back up. And we're actually seeing a bit of a sector rotation here as well. You might argue that if things like vaccines start getting approved, then maybe we'll start seeing, the old brick and mortar type society, manufacturing, retail, shopping malls, hotels, airplanes, all that kind of stuff actually start to get going in earnest again. Interestingly enough, too, since we have quite a bit of political stalemate within the U.S. government right now, I don't know whether you're really going to get a heck of a lot of sort of new supportive stimulus packages and stuff passed until we get beyond sort of resolving this U.S. presidential issue. And if I understand correctly, I think they'd like to have it wrapped up by, say, the middle of December, as the way their political system works, their official sort of voting body to vote for the president. The Electoral College officially, I think they meet on the 14th of December. So if I understand correctly, they'd like to have all of this sort of, recount, lawsuits, all that kind of stuff taken care of by then. So what that kind of means is we kind of have a bit of a vacuum here for the next few weeks. I could see things kind of just go sideways. Our breadth indicator heading into the election event, of course, did spit up a little bit of a buy signal there. So I guess it kind of makes sense to see the market moving up. And actually, a lot of our little junior stocks are all jumping back up here, and we'll see that in the Russell 2000 in a bit. Medium term, kind of wishy-washy. Short term, a little bit maybe too uppy right now. So that might explain a little bit of the pullback here today. Interesting to see the leaders, the sort of laggards and leaders. I might be interested to be bottom hunting in things like oil stocks, although I don't really want to invest in oil. Semiconductor names like Intel. Jesus, Intel sure has been beaten up here over the past few years. I wonder if they're going to get their act together. It is interesting how we were sort of humming and hawing. We did see a lot of insider buying in Honeywell recently. Kavarkanator, he was super jazzed about Raytheon there, and it just exploded higher. I was commenting about Boeing, so it's interesting to see how a lot of those defense names are starting to get bid back up. And the irony of it all is actually that makes perfect historical sense. Since if you actually go back and look at U.S. history, other than sort of this most recent Gulf War experience, most of U.S. Foreign policy, and especially the initiation of wars, is actually done by Democrat presidents. So we might find that, sort of, what do they call it? Guns and butter. Right? We might find that military defense spending and also the promotion. Because keep in mind, Obama, he was actually the biggest salesman in history of U.S. military arms to overseas customers. He sold a lot of military equipment. So go figure, how ironic. Anyway. Anything really earth-shattering coming out of today? Ironically enough, the biggest thing that's caught my attention is that sort of sector rotation kind of thinking. And I see it not only in the stock market, but I also kind of see it in crypto as well. So we'll talk about crypto in a bit. But where's the screen I like to talk to you guys about? I think I have it over here. There we are. U.S. dollar index today bounced off of Kavarki's 88.6 down there the other day. And it turns out somebody on YouTube really likes Kavarki, so I set him up with a nice screenshot of him. But I also gave you Kavarki's Twitter address. You know who you are. So if you want to get to know him, he's a super, super nice guy. And I'm sure he'd be more than happy to chat with you. But Kevin's enjoying, of course, nice little rally in his U.S. dollar off of his level yesterday. Kind of looks to me like we're just sort of stuck in the mud here right now. Not really a bull, not really a bear, just sort of, I'm parked. Kind of same thing out of the stock market. It's interesting to see how the stocks ran up to an important historical breakout level. Boom, boom, boom. And look what we did yesterday, eh? Look at that. Bang, right into that level, and then insta rejection. This looks so dangerous up here, folks. I mean, thank heavens we didn't just M out and collapse. But the interesting thing is, just keep your eyes focused. I don't know where an M could come in, but I wouldn't be surprised if it looks something like that. So just understand where we are in the context of these markets. They've gone an awfully, awfully long way. Where exactly the top is, I don't know. Does anybody? No. It's interesting how the one gentleman on social media that I like to follow, DJ Thistle, he has kind of a fractal kind of message, and that's basically the message that his fractal tool is telling him. I mean, I hope for all our sakes that the market doesn't crap out here. But my hunch is once all these political uncertainties and the sickness uncertainty and all that kind of stuff gets out of the way, I think probably calmer heads will prevail and we'll start sort of getting... if anything, I went through sort of the mega F stock scenario, compared Amazon's top in 2000 and 2008 with the top that you're seeing in the mega cap stocks now, mega F. Very, very similar. It's not really like they're an outright sell. It's just, holy Jesus, this is expensive. And I think there's actually a lot easier, faster, cheaper ways to get making money than going and chasing stocks that have already been dramatically bid up. But yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell. Interesting to see the oil ratcheting back up here, and kind of funny how I think I showed you guys this before. Little spreadsheet I like to follow, just give me an idea of what's hopping in the market, and where are ideas that probably are worth our attention. The oil, it's still sitting well below its 50% level, sitting at 61 on the USO. And we saw this a lot on the oil stocks. Remember, the bunch of these things were flashing greens, but they're not anymore. They're all getting out of there. See, Kevin's Raytheon, even up 270 on the day, 4% move. It's still a greener. But you can see that Boeing, it was greener, but it's just jumped right up. So now it's no longer there anymore. It's fascinating to see how all these oil stocks now have moved up off of those sort of acceptable buy levels. Schlumberger, for example, look at that jump it's had here recently. Jerks. So anyway, not really the biggest fan of oil here, but if it rallies and energy rallies, risk on kind of talk, I guess that would make sense. And you can see the tech stocks are just getting the stuffing knocked out of them here. And I think this has more to do with sort of, it's not really like these are a sell, it's just they kind of got too expensive. And the prices just went absolutely apeshit. Here's Amazon's chart. I mean, you tell me, has that thing got some room actually to come back down if it starts calming down? You can see where the trend line is. So there's your monthly chart. Look at that craziness. I mean, that's insane. So can this continue to, like, double again from here? I don't know. You guys often see what happens when I bang out doubles and then bang out doubles and doubles. Usually that's pretty close to the end of the move, not the beginning of the move. Anyway, I think probably the general message I'm seeing today is this kind of rotation. Brick and mortar, financial services. Looks like it's like industrials today. Hey, a bit of energy, some healthcare. Value. It's actually getting bid up. Tech, coming off. So what ends up happening, ironically enough, at the end of all this, is the broader market just kind of goes sideways. That's kind of what I think is going to happen here on things like the S&P 500. Got to sort of clean this up. Yesterday was a bit too much. Oil now, like we said, rallied right back up to the top end of the range. Interestingly enough, if I was going to short oil, now we're coming back into levels where I can start thinking about, selling against highs and buying against lows. So we did have a little bit of a ABCD. Let's see if this has exhausted itself yet. Remember we had that 50% level hit on that move on that May contract and literally boom, straight up from there. All right, so this ABCD looks like it actually wants to take prices right up. Oh, yeah, okay, fill in all this unfinished business up top here. So maybe when we get up in that area, we can look for reverse signs of reversal. Maybe see if we can strap this short on again. Maybe hunt for that gap fill as a target. It's not a terrible level. And maybe once we get to this level and we start showing some signs of failure, if that does happen, we can start thinking about the gold actually bottoming in earnest. Because I'll tell you, this gold is having a really hard time getting its act together here. Actually, I spent some time talking with the site here. I got to tell you, these bonds, they look so dangerous here. We might actually get like a follow-through sell signal here on the failure of the Q reversal low if we take out this low. So you want to watch the bonds. This is the ZBs 169.29. We're basically accepting into that 169 handle, 132 or 32. This is quoted in 30 seconds. So yeah, it's like 30 seconds is basically, in essence, that is that 170 level. So we go through that. You see today's low is 170, 169.29. You see 169.28, 30 seconds, and that means that we have confirmation of this failure. And I've said this repeatedly. I do believe that the bond market rally is over. This is ultimately what I think is going to kill the U.S. housing market and probably actually kill any sort of economic recoveries. And it's probably also going to handcuff Mr. Biden. Because what's going to end up happening here now is we're going to change the conversation between can the U.S. actually float more debt, will the market accept it, to can the U.S. actually afford to make its interest payments on all its outstanding debt. And sorry, you can't float any new debt. You can't even barely make the interest payments on the debt that you have. When we get into that kind of conversation, then, housing market will just be absolute disaster scenario. Ironically enough, at that point, that's actually when I'll probably want to consider going and buying real estate. So go figure. What I did suggest to site members and those people, anybody who wants to listen, if you could actually go and lock in like a 20, 30-year mortgage right now on your house and have it paid off at the end of it, to me, this is telling you better go and take advantage of those low rates now, because who knows what this is going to look like in a few years. But I doubt it's going to be up this high. So we'll see what happens. And what's worse is usually what ends up happening is economies move along in a straight line based on what the sort of prevailing trend is. Then one day that stops. And then we start a whole new paradigm. What I'm worried about is people have basically accepted the idea that interest rates are not going up ever again. They're going to stay down indefinitely. That's usually the hallmark of disaster. So fascinating. Probably it's ironic because I wasn't really that interested in bonds of late, but it turns out bonds have actually got my undivided attention right now as the most important thing in the market right now. How ironic. And nobody else is even the slightest bit interested. We talked yesterday about the gold market. Could it hold these lows? And we actually said that it couldn't, and it broke through these lows. And the big gold stocks I'm watching, they've also broken lower. So this bullish scenario is basically off the table right now. I think the silver's holding in a little bit better, but as it stands right now, all you lower time frame traders, I wouldn't be surprised. Watch this inside bar. If this inside bar can fire, then you've got a nice bull bear battle zone to work with, and you might actually get a nice little perk up back up top. But this is going to take a lot of work for me to actually start getting bullish again. There's got to be a lot of constructive work here. So, nothing to do in the gold market. We'll say, though, a few of the VCIM names in the sort of mining and gold business that I've been nibbling away on recently, I think they all look fine. And I'm more than happy to go pick up a little bit more of them. But that's not trading the stock market. It's not trading the gold market. That's trading a market of stocks. I have a particular stock screeners that I look for, fundamental criteria, and based on that, I will go and invest in them. The fact that they happen to be in the mining sector, well, that's just added bonus. And I gotta say, some guy going out and exploring for gold, $1,900 US for an ounce of gold, that ain't so bad. That's a pretty good price. But that's just Brian's opinion. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of negative feedback over that. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Kind of our talk about big caps maybe got a little ahead of themselves, but lots of appetite to take risk. Junior stocks are continuing that huge reversal that we saw yesterday relative to the big cap stocks. And gee whiz, a lot of these little junior stocks just look fantastic down here. We'll have our TRI SOF meeting tonight. Actually, this probably isn't the page I want to look at. I want to look just at our screen page over here. So, as you can see, there's a bit of green on the screen here. Pot names still seem to be catching relative bids, so feeling pretty good about that. Kavarkanator stocks rocking and rolling. Look at that trade, eh? Thank you, Kavarkanator. You're such a nice guy. Even little names that I'm interested to buy. This is an interesting little one that I picked up here recently. Look pretty good. Zach, my TRI SOF shark partner, Horizontal Support and Resistance Club. This was an idea that he had recently. Just doing its thing, looking great. And gee whiz. This is a good example of a value stock down here. This thing's dirt cheap. And ironically enough, they're trading at a fraction of book value. And the exchanges come along and said, can you please have your stock trade at a minimum threshold of, I think it's 50 million in market cap. Right now they're at about 35 million. trading at a fraction of book value with just a few shares outstanding? Could they go to like some house and just say, okay, well, here's a few million shares. Boom, all of a sudden book value is, the market cap has jumped up. Sure. So how do they incentivize them? Well, maybe give them some stock cheap and ramp the stock back up, and all of a sudden, boom. There you go. Anyway, long and short of it here, I don't know what the story is that's going to drive this, but good looking stock. And also pays just a ridiculously fat dividend. And it's trading less than cash on the books. I mean, go figure, right? Anyway, point here is this is the kind of part of the market that I really like right now. It's just look at these little cute little W's. They're just the cutest little W's. That'll probably be one that I'll bring to the group's attention tonight. I mean, look at that. That's everything that we do. Bullish divergences. Actually, I don't know whether that's confirmed or not. Beautiful W's in OBV. Really went stupidly oversold. Nice W's in RSI through the 50 line. Good looking stocks. So that's, it's not like I certainly don't want to chase the mega F names. Don't have any interest in them whatsoever. But a lot of these little names, oh man, they look good. So that's sort of my commentary. And really, ironically enough, crypto is the same thing. Don't really want to go and buy Bitcoin right here. If anything, I kind of think that we're at the end of the move, not the beginning of the move. Could there be more up here? Sure. But, oh boy, as a risk taker, and I see a chart like that, that's looking damn risky to me. So we'll see how it goes. Remember, I don't know whether I said this to you earlier or not, but I think I said to the site, here was our April conjunct. Notice big dump, consolidation, then resolution on the other side. That's what we really want to see. Then the June, July one, same thing. So big rally, then dump, consolidation, resolution on the other side. So in this particular case, big dump or big rally, then our dump. Here we're coming up to the event. What I'd like to see is either an M or a W on the other side of this event window. And really, ideally, I'd love to see this. Right? Let's just let things calm down. Bollinger Bands squeeze. All that kind of stuff. And that might set up a new signal. In fact, actually, this signal right here, off the beginning of October, right? Really learn this stuff. It's so beautiful. Higher highs and higher lows. Nice decent, or I guess like a nice triangle breakout. Bollinger Band breakout. I remember on the site we were squawking about... where the hell is it? Right? The Davos signals that are algo spat up there. Vroom. Well, we don't look like that now, guys. Willie stupidly overbought. Potential bear divs. Like, if we get a break in price here, then this bear div confirms, and we officially have to just cool our jets. But I'm not going to say that we've broken here. We're just consolidating. What's ironic is actually I drew up this chart 2 days ago. 3 days ago? What day is today? Tuesday? And basically we're just doing exactly what I thought we were going to do. Never did get down to my candle body low level. That kind of bummed me out here. But, at least now we got one low, two lows. Maybe we got a nice third low in here. I mean, hell, we got a fourth low, fifth low. That would be even better. So you can see how this is developing. And if anything, it's such a fantastic example. When you see price doing this, you just got to cool your jets. Just say, look, I can't chase. If I am a bull, I have to wait for consolidation and then take the trade. But right now, we're just a big hurry up and do nothing. And the range traders, they shorted the other day off the top. Are they still short? They might have taken some profits on this dump. I like the idea of maybe buying against this candle body low, which would be right against this angle down here. I like that. That would work for me. Yeah, I don't know whether I really like the idea of shorting again. On this move up top here. You might see some nice little pop up here. So, because keep in mind, this is just drawn off of these, right? This angle is not actually on the charts. So the angle is there and up there. So could we have a pop up here, just a nice fuck you against these highs? Sure. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. So anyway, nothing for me to do on the corn here. But, you know, the broader poop coin index, I'm not really overly excited. It's kind of like middle of the road. Just big hurry up and do nothing there. So whatever it is that's sort of keeping this up, I think it, like Link and stuff like that, I think they're above their reload zone stuff. But, there are some names in this space that just look so sexy. I was sort of squawking the other day about Sjord loves his little LTO trade. And frankly speaking, I love the look of this chart too. Just beautiful chart. If we can clear through this moving average now, then next stop's probably up against the 200 SMA. There's chaos there. There's the top of value there. There's 50% of the range there. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. Candle body highs for trade location. I don't see any reason why we can't jump up here. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously no guarantees from the management, but good looking trade, Sjord. Good looking trade. So that's the kind of shit that we're doing right now. I've talked to you guys recently about this Dash. I love the look of Dash here. I might even just go pull the trigger if this thing W's out here. Good looking little chart. I don't know. There's no guarantees in any of this shit. You all know that. So, trade your plan your trade. I'm bidding for some of this stake here. I was a little worried that they're jumping it up here, bastards. Give me a fill first, you cocksuckers. Which often happens with me. Remember, I'm a cheap ass. I'm trying to buy at what I would consider value or, discounted prices. So does that mean I get easy fills? Sometimes not. I think there's probably a good example. If they'll sell it to me at my price, great, I'll buy it. But if they won't, then shit happens. I was watching other names. These are all sort of last year's names that have already pretty much all given us doubles here, and etc. But here's such a great example. I mean, good old Trex and their nonsense. But back against the bottoms, selling here, or buying down in here, selling into rallies, right? And gee whiz, look where we are again. And I really like this coin. It's one of these sleeper coins that I think probably ends up getting taken out by some major firm down the road for a ridiculous amount of money. So, I mean, you tell me. Here we are. They just hit the big reset. So, that's what I see happening in altcoin land right now. And I think I put tweets out to that effect. The other day I got one of these crazy ones that just went nuts. And it wasn't really like I was expecting it to go nuts. It's just down at the bottom end of the range, doing lots of fuck yous on Binance. What a surprise. Bottoms. Is it worth going to pick some up? And bang! And the irony of it all is the 50% level is still way up here. So I'm probably going to be selling some more on the way higher. So I still don't even know what the hell the catalyst is that's driving this rally. But hey, I'll take it. Traders got to trade. So that's the kind of market. I mean, you just don't know when these damn things are going to go. But you can see they're all trying to inside bar and fractal. So pay attention. Thought this one was interesting. NEO. I think that's the Chinese version of Ethereum. Jeez, what a location. If that thing carves out a little inside bar next week, because this is a weekly chart, man, that is looking really good. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, I think I'll leave the rant at that. Sure hope you got some value out of all that. All the best, and by all means, get to know Kvarkinator. I think he's a stand-up gentleman. Maybe even consider joining the site and get to know these people in person. Fine community, fine traders, good people, PMA. I think we all try to work together to make this a better world, all that kind of fun stuff. And it's actually a lot of fun waking up in the morning and coming and seeing what the gang's doing, because everybody's pretty nice people. So, all right, have yourselves an awesome rest of your day. All the best, and bye for now.